Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Marantz. Rantz, plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. This is a one-take session, no edits, no cuts, about private equity on publicly traded companies. You know, the effects it has on it. This is Connect the Dots Part 97. Now, something happened this morning, and I didn't understand until I had to look into the financials because everyone was announcing this new deal by the government. If you did not see the new deal, it's right here. And it says Trilogy Metals announced a strategic investment by the U.S. federal government. And right away, people are like, this is a great investment. Think about it. You know, they want resources. They want, metals, precious metals. I don't know, and I don't care. That wasn't it. The part that triggered me was it's a Canadian company. We're making investments via the United States government, via Canada. And I was trying to figure out why. And then I remembered who's our DFC, right? So if you don't know about our DFC, just so that we're clear, that is the Development Finance Corporation, the International Development Finance Corporation. But the CEO of the DFC is actually Benjamin Black. So it's Benjamin Black, the son of Leon Black. And when you look at an investment, you have to ask yourself, who's going to benefit from this investment? Some no-name metals company and randomly picked out of obscurity? I think not. Trilogy Metals, just so that we're clear, Trilogy Metals is here. They have an outstanding float of 164 million shares, which, if you look here, insiders own a lot, 18. Institutions don't hold so much. And when you actually look at it, you see Paulson and Company. Now, John Paulson and Company, they are distressed credit investors, and he owns 14.33 million shares of this company. When I did the math, and I had to do it, this gentleman here made $100 million in a day today. $100 million. Because I went and checked when he bought his shares, and it was at opportune times. If you look at the chart, he was buying shares in 2016, 2015, 2014, and that's when the stock was at around 15 cents. Then you go through, and he bought again, and then now it's spiked. So he's had his ownership since IPO, since 2012, pushing through, and now it's at almost $8, $6.91 today. But I assure you, his position went from around $14 million all the way to $114 million as of earlier today. And that's a $100 million increase. Now, why does that matter? Why does that affect me and the way I see things? Because Leon Black, who is Benjamin Black's father. Now, if you don't know about Benjamin Black, he's the son of Leon Black. But John Paulson will go with him first, just so that we're clear. This would be a kickback. I just, for the lack of a better term, Mr. President, because if you look here, Paulson received media attention where he immediately backed Donald Trump after Trump secured the Republican nomination in 2016. So you get where the money's coming from, right? Paulson contributed over $800,000 to Trump in 2020 campaign. And then, of course, he was a major fundraiser in 2024. So one of your largest fundraisers, and he reportedly considered Paulson to become the Secretary of Treasury right before he got Scott Bessent, who was chosen, right? So this guy was on the chopping block for it all. He was going to be great for Donald Trump because he's a huge contributor to the administration. And how do you pay him back, Mr. Donald Trump? Well, you make an investment into the one company that he holds $100 million now worth of, right? We escalated that. But this is Benjamin Black. This is the guy that actually makes the choice and tells Mr. President, right? Isn't that right, Mr. President? You didn't make the choice. He did, right? U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, Leon Black, son, Benjamin Black, makes the pick. And why do I say that? Because if you actually look at the relationship between John Paulson and Leon Black, it's been going on for 2 decades. Plus, then you see that, yeah, he did help them buy Century 21, Kraft Foods, you name it. Black and Paulson have been included in numerous deals over all these years where they did a deal with Caesar's Palace and the what they call the Caesar's Palace coup. So huge problem for Donald Trump to explain to me, but of course no one's going to shed light on it. Mr. Trump, you're protecting your friends again, and now you're investing with them. This happens every year. This happens every administration. This is nothing new. But don't act like you just picked this company, Trilogy Metals, out of thin air when we know what it was. Benjamin Black helping out his dad's best friend, and who knows what deals they have going on. And allegedly, and then, of course, yourself, Mr. President, this guy gave you hundreds of thousands of dollars towards your campaigns. And how'd you pay him back? You picked his one company to pump the stock. What else is new? Get me out of here. Peace.